Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of AJ Podcast. So, today we have a guest on our show that is Dr. Nancy Lee. So, hi, Nancy.
Hi, AJ. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Yeah, so Dr. Nancy Lee is an very popular YouTuber. She creates the content for the product management and she also running a PM accelerator. So Nancy, tell me little bit about yourself so that our audience also, because missed some part of your introduction, so that's why.
Awesome. Yes, you're right. Lots of people know me through YouTube, and I have a very popular YouTube channel just called Darkness CD. You guys can just search on YouTube and find me over there. In summary, so I am a director of product, a mentor, and YouTuber, and featured in Forbes. And like
Hmm.
most of us, lots of my audience are immigrant, and myself immigrated to the U.S. with only $800 in my pocket to pursue my American education. And a few years later, I became the youngest engineering PhD, and the youngest direct product was in 4 years. Later on, I made decision. So it's more important to show others how they're able to conquer the challenges that's similar to mine and also develop their career in the US and globally. So that's why I started my YouTube channel to train people for free. And lots of people actually they just emailed me actually like last month. Someone emailed me saying that, hey, Nancy, I watched a YouTube video that is about how to land a remote product manager job, and that changed my life. So I'm very excited to see those people like advancing using my free training on YouTube. And later on, I also started my own coaching program. And that is to help people advance their career to become a product leader and also break into high paying jobs as a product manager in different companies. So that's where I am. And thank you for having me on your show.
Yes. So Nancy, can we discuss about remote product management jobs, because it's a trending topic and yeah, can we do?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Right now, remote PM job is extremely like popular right now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Especially during the pandemic. Lots of companies start to change their mindset thinking, hey, how am I able to like manage my team in a remote environment? And they try it out. It works during the
Yeah.
pandemic. And now after post pandemic, I think everyone get used to working from home. And even the CEO of those companies themselves want to work from home. So therefore, remote PM positions all of a sudden became extremely popular. Nowadays, people just start to think about how exactly they're able to land those remote PM jobs. And companies also start to introduce different kind of new work environment to enable remote PM jobs and also have those hybrid opportunities for people to work in the office for 2 days and be remote for 3 days. And this just open up a new definition of work-life balance.
Yes, great. So thanks for the introducing the topic as well as remote PM jobs. So Nancy, according to you, what's the benefit of remote PM roles as comparison to hybrid as well as on-site office roles?
Yeah, actually, the benefit remote PM roles came from three main aspects. First of
Hmm.
all, I think the
Hmm.
biggest benefit is the work-life balance. And
Yeah.
think about every day when people was trying to go to work and you have to drive and stuck in the traffic for at least half an hour. Usually when this traffic is 1 hour one way and then you go a round trip at
Yes.
2 hours.
Yes.
If you're
Yes.
able to spend those 2 hours in
Yeah.
invest in yourself, spending time with family, or even go to the gym more often, you're
Yeah.
able to improve the quality of your life. And it's amazing, especially for young mom as like me. My son is 1.5 years old.
Yeah.
Right now, I rather everyone work from home. And actually, I do work from home. I work out of Miami right now. So
Yeah.
we're able to spend some time with my son. And then after he goes to sleep, I can continue to work. So it gives
Yeah.
us lots of flexibilities. The second biggest benefit is able to tap into the global job market.
Yeah.
For example, you are
Yeah.
based in India and I have audience also based in like globally. I have a student in Nigeria, in Thailand, of course, in
Yeah.
India, in Singapore, like
Yeah.
UK, Canada, everywhere you can imagine. Or someone from Brazil also reach out to me all over the world, right? So
Yeah.
now once you open remote PM position, people are able to go out to the, oh, I'm based in China or I'm based in India. How can I get
Yeah.
access to jobs in the US, jobs
Yeah.
in UK or in
Yeah.
Singapore? It's an amazing opportunity people are able to tap into. You don't need to work in your home country anymore just because it's remote. And the third opportunity for remote PM is actually the salary. I
Yeah.
think if you're able to land remote PM position, not as like
Yeah.
opportunity growth. The second one I mentioned is for growth, right? You're able to work in a cross-functional team for US company, different culture. The benefit of working for US company is you getting paid significantly more. I
Yeah.
have someone from Brazil reach out
Yeah.
to me like last week. He said
Yeah.
he already had 10 years experience working for Brazilian company,
Yeah.
but he's
Yeah.
only getting paid $25,000 per year.
Yes.
And guess what? Right now, he's asking me for help to help him to land a job, like remote PM job in the US. So in the
Yes.
past, all our students inside the product manager accelerator, is
Yeah.
the lowest salary ever get fresh out of college is $85,000 per year. Let's say the Brazilian guy who had 10 years experience at product managers landing the lowest paying job in the US, $85,000. That's three times more than three times. Was it three more? Four times, almost four, three and a half
Yes.
times more than what
Yes.
he was getting paid in Brazil. However, because of 10 years experience, he can get paid way more than $85,000 per year. I'm just using that as a example. You increase your work-life balance, like not just like time, but also your income, the quality of life you can create for entire family as well. So this is an exciting opportunity globally.
Hmm. Yes. So, Nancy, I have a one. Can people who are living in the US can land a job, remote PM job in the US? Not for the people who are living in the US, but the people who are living in India and China and, for example, any
Yeah.
country. So, can land a job for the remote PM job in the US?
Oh yes, not just US, in UK and other places, as long as
Yeah.
the companies allow remote work environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a true story. It's crazy. I have a student who is in Thailand who
Yeah.
land remote PM job in the US.
Yes.
I have a
Yes.
student in Canada, then remote
Yeah.
PM job in the US. Actually, I also have students. The other student, she's also in Canada. She wasn't looking for remote PM job, but because she's so good and
Hmm.
the American company convinced her to move from Canada to the US and also sponsor her like immigration status, and her salary also like tripled, and she was working for like TikTok. It's crazy. It's like not just remote, but because you're good and the company is willing to do anything for you to even do immigration. Of course, not everyone want to immigrate. Then you can just negotiate with company to do remote work. For example, another student of mine, he is in Thailand, and he's currently in his junior in college. So he landed remote PM internship in the US this summer. And knowing that we are going through global recession, all the like companies lay off people, it's so competitive. But even if he's in Thailand, he was able to take US jobs. And because so many American nowadays, right now in the summer, they still do not even have internship. But in Thailand, he took job from American, right? So he was able to get advanced work experience even if he's in Thailand now. After he graduated a year later, finished his school, he was able to tap into another remote full-time opportunities because he already have remote internship opportunity in the US. It's just like it's all very possible. I have a student in China land a job in the US, like all over the world. I also currently have a student. She is Filipino. She's in Philippines. She's also using the same strategy to land a job in the US and in UK as well. It's all very possible. Now we also have other people who is currently in Canada. He's a dad with two lovely young children, and he didn't want to move the US. And then he landed a job offer from GoDaddy, and GoDaddy let him to work remotely. So he's in Canada getting paid US salary, and also again because of currency differences, immediately just getting paid significantly higher. But he was able to have the work-life balance he liked. It's totally feasible.
So, where to find the remote PM opportunity?
Very good question. And actually, there's a lot of opportunities out there. And something I want to highlight first, before you think about where to find opportunities, we just think about from the recruiter's perspective.
Yes.
So from company's perspective, we really love giving different opportunities if the company embrace remote culture. Like think about this. If you embrace remote culture, everyone's working from home, then you can hire people from UK, from India, from all over the world. And they are high quality people. As long as they have the right experience, they're able to pass interview, they have good culture fit. From employer perspective, they're able to spend the same amount of money and hire the best people out there. Like, let me give you an example. For example, my copywriter is British. And by the way, you guys should like read our newsletter. It's all written by her. You can see lots of like British writing style. And so she's British. But think about this. If I hire the same type of people in the US and spending the same amount of money, I may not be able to find the best copywriter in the US.
Yes.
But
Yes.
because our company enables remote culture, everyone in my own company, PM Etc., like we work remotely. We also teach our students remotely. So I was able to hire the best British copywriter in Britain. The entire Britain, I hired the best one. And then
Yeah.
they work for US company. They feel like they're getting exposure. And because we pay more, because the currency strength is, they're getting paid the highest compared with other
Yeah.
UK copywriter, and then just pick the best UK copywriters, right? So from employer's perspective, this is one of the biggest advantage for all of us. And it's actually starts changing people's lives. To be frank, for example, when I moved to US, I only have $800 in my pocket. At the time, remote opportunities wasn't available.
Mm.
My family was extremely poor, and $10,000 equals to my dad's 2 years salary. My family was extremely, extremely poor. And when I moved to the US, my PhD program, they pays me $1,400. That's extremely low in the US. That's like way below poverty line was in the US. But
Yes.
I felt like, oh my goodness, I never seen so much money in my life just because I'm an immigrant. Our own country was more poor. But that just opens up new opportunities. If remote opportunity was available by that time, I probably was able to work remotely for some US company, or maybe any company, or UK company, any companies that can generate some kind of wealth for my family. And then my family doesn't need to like struggle as much. We were very, very broke. And later on, I just realized, wow, this opportunities, like product management opportunities, remote PM opportunities can be available for everybody. That can actually change people's life in different countries. That's just like very different ball game the whole world is
Mm.
playing. So
Mm-hmm.
now, next part, let's go back to where would you be able to identify those opportunities, right? So I told you what's in the employer perspective. Now, where do we post our remote job opportunities is the following. Number one, in the US, when we hire anyone remote, we do remote jobs on LinkedIn. This is one number one place to search. You search product
Yeah.
manager or any job title, data scientist, anything,
Yeah.
plus keywords remote. And even LinkedIn right now, they have a button you can hit remote. You can find so many remote jobs out there. And number one, that's
Mm.
where you find those opportunities. And number two, you should also create an Upwork account. Upwork
Yes.
is globally. So Upwork is actually global. So when you go create your profile in Upwork, that's when companies start to find out different kind of contractors, right?
Mm.
And they go to Upwork, but gradually contractors can turn into full-time opportunities. You just need to create your profile up there. And of course, you do need to have your first client who can give you a good review on Upwork, but that's an opportunity for you to get exposed. But once you have your Upwork profile, then you can send
Mm.
it to let your future employer or other people say, hey, I have been doing remote work for a while. I help other people to build a product. And that's one of the opportunities you should create for yourself. And the third strategy is you need to identify those remote job opportunities in your local countries, job board. So for example, currently I'm hiring people from India. My company hire people globally. So currently I need someone who's full-time in China. So I went to the Chinese website and try to create a job posting about remote position within my company. So in
Mm.
order for me to get exposed to the Chinese candidate market, if I only post my job opportunities on LinkedIn, most Chinese people cannot see the job opportunities. So therefore, I need to directly move over to the Chinese site and create job opportunities out there. So which means that you guys need to look into a local market, remote job board, and look into like international, like UK remote job board. You just need to go to different countries because different country has this unique job board where you can identify each country's remote position. So those three is definitely going to help you guys significantly.
Exactly. So what about some other site like Monster and these?
Monster.com is very old.
Yeah.
I don't use that, and I don't suggest my students to use it because 10 years old. When I moved to US like 10 years ago,
Yeah.
more than 10 years, it's crazy. Time flew by very quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, that was more than 10 years ago. We used Monster. That's very old. That's a
Yeah.
monster. Oh, the dinosaur.
Monster. Yeah.
That
Now
was
in
a dinosaur.
India, these guys are changing their name. It's now founded in India. Yeah. That's a
Oh,
different.
sounds so modern.
Yeah. Yeah. So before come to the next question, I would like to
Mhm.
ask a one simple question from you. What is product management? Only define what is product management. Then we will come to the next question. Yeah.
Okay, very good question. So depends on who you want to tell stories product management to. I assume it's to our age, and when you tell it to my son, it's very different. What does your mom do? It's very complex. So,
Yeah.
what product management to people in our age? So you can see product management. I think the best description is a CEO of product. I really love this description because this represents two things. This
Yeah.
represent leadership. This also represent launching product. So product manager is a CEO product, which means that you're leading a cross-functional team to align the vision to push everybody towards the end goal, which is create amazing product that impact millions of people's life. Now, what do you create is the product. The product has many different aspects. Could be digital product. Lots of my students, they
Yeah.
are working on digital product. Could also be like healthcare product, right? So different kind of like combination of healthcare and drug, different things. It could also be physical product. But the
Yeah.
methodology for you to create the best product regarding digital or healthcare, different kind of product is the same. So yeah, that's the definition of product manager and leading a team of amazing people and as the CEO of the product and execute on the vision and create amazing product that impact millions of people's lives.
Great. Great. Sounds really great. So could you define me and can you explain the difference between the remote and in-office product management role?
Very good question. So the job responsibilities are the same between these two. The main difference between remote and in office is that remote that requires you to be able to form different kind of trust and the relationships through those virtual Zoom
Yes.
environment. In
Yes.
person, it's easier for you to build trust and build relationship. So that's the main differences. So which means in in office you can grab a coffee. You like this person, you don't like this person, and if we have
Yes.
conflict, and it's easier to grab this person on the side. But on a Zoom, you
Hmm.
cannot grab someone on the side. You can only call the person, hopefully pick up the phone. So
Hmm.
that's the main differences. But in terms of job responsibilities, it's the same. You're still the CEO of product, but maybe you are the virtual CEO of the product.
Yes. Great. So also, is there any productivity issue between the remote PM and the on-site PMs from your experience?
Very good question. It's different kind of productivities issue.
Yeah.
For example, the productivities might be impacted when you work from home, that your kids walk into your office and your productivities might be impacted. That's the distractions at home. But assuming if we remove all the distractions, and I think it's more productive when you work from home compared with going into the office because you actually cut off the time to chit chat with other people. You only do work. But because you work from home, your productivity will definitely get impacted because you have kids, you have other people around you. But here's also what I heard. Even including Google, they start to thinking about how can they introduce the remote work environment, the remote working tool to enable communication, collaboration, and productivities for people working from home, because it's definitely a trend. How you're able to be the leader of the trend is what all the like big tech companies is thinking about right now. And especially, for example, on my podcast, I also have a podcast called Product Insider, and we had the
Yeah.
VP of Product Google speaking on my podcast, and he's talking about how to be able to build trust through the remote work environment. He has been working remote for 4 years, since 2019. So the
Yeah.
whole company, especially those leading tech companies, they have been pushing towards this domain. And also Microsoft. And Microsoft announced that all the PM like positions are able to
Yes.
work remotely. So the whole team, all PM team, if you want, you can choose work remotely. If you want, you can also come on site. I make available to you guys, but now PMs are not required to be on site, which means that company have found out a solution to enhance the productivities for them to work from home. So it's definitely has been improving, and I believe I'm more productive at home. But later on, you can work in Starbucks, just change environment,
Yeah.
so change your mental mindset a little bit.
Yeah. So my another question, so because
AJ, one
people,
sec. I want to add one more. One sec.
okay,
I
yeah,
want to
please,
add
please add.
one.
Yeah, please add.
I want to add one more question to. I want to put it in the chat.
Yeah,
Put
sure,
it
sure, sure,
in
sure.
the chat. Okay, so I
Sure.
want to put it there. By the way, you can cut this part when I have a conversation with you. Cool. Okay, I'll put one more in the chat. You can continue
Okay,
to
sure.
go through all the questions.
Sure, sure, sure. Okay, my another question is that uh how can matlab, how can someone with no prior remote work experience make themselves stand out in the hiring process?
Very good question. So the best way to stand out from the hiring experience and is number one, you need to create product portfolio. So I talk about different kind of tools and also gave people lots of examples of what the product portfolio look like, how to use product portfolio on my YouTube channel. You guys can go there and watch all the tools and examples and with video description over there. But in a high level, when you want to land a job as a remote product manager, even if you have no work experience as a remote PM or you have no PM experience in general, the best way for you to stand out from the competition is by creating a product portfolio. So what
Yes.
is product portfolio? It's a demonstration of your product management skill set and past experience related to product management. Even if lots of people, let's say they have no PM experience at all, I have like 90% of my students have no PM experience at all. They all transfer from computer science background, like software engineering background, or marketing background,
Yeah.
have some
Yeah.
like business background or QA background, and like a business analyst background, and many different kind of background, right? So once you
Yeah.
create a product portfolio, you can demonstrate how much of my past experience is overlapping with product management, and then you show them example of side product you have built. So that's the best way for you to demonstrate you are like standing out from the competition and you're able to add value to the company starting from day one. There are certain different kind of project I recommend people to build on the side. I can also share you the link that people can download as well. But the more information on my YouTube channel, people should watch. So now, once you have your product portfolio ready, you can just send your product portfolio as part of your application. For example, my student in Thailand and other places landing a job in the US, they send in the product portfolio to demonstrate the skills. This is the best way for you to stand out from the competition.
Yes. So, how does remote work impact the salary and compensation package of a product manager?
Say that again.
So, how does remote work impact the salary and compensation package of a product manager?
Okay, very good question. So depends on the type of companies you work for and how much is the budget they want to hire the
Hmm.
best talent in the world. For example, for best company like Microsoft, the budget is extremely high. Even for remote positions, it's the same as in office positions. But of
Yeah.
course, let's say you are working for Microsoft in Miami, the cost of living in Miami is lower than you work for Microsoft in Seattle, right? So
Yeah.
when Microsoft announced for product managers to work remotely, and it's based on your local salary. So let's say if you moved from Miami to Seattle, you probably get 10% increase because your cost of
Yeah.
living is higher, but it's based on your local rough like
Yes.
the expense of your local area, right? Now for people who is outside the US, it's very different. The salary is actually higher than your local market. For example, my
Yeah.
student working for GoDaddy is a global team. They have a
Hmm.
standard like range. If you are able to achieve this level of impact, so this is a bank, all right, this is a band you have within the company. So that's why my student working in Canada, and he's not getting paid a Canadian salary. He's still getting paid at a US salary. So really depends on how company define the impact of employees to the company and also the culture they have to
Hmm.
the company. And yeah, I don't think any companies they hire like remote PMs. Oh, you're from India. Let's push your salary really low because you're from India. No, I
Yes.
believe you're still getting paid like above significant above how much you're getting paid in India. You may not
Yeah.
getting paid as much as how people are getting paid in Google, to be frank, in the US. So it's like the gap is too big.
There's
Like
a
how much
vast
would
difference. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So you're probably getting paid like significantly higher than how much you're getting paid in India, but not at a Google level. So which still means you're getting paid significantly higher. As I gave the example earlier, someone in Brazil getting paid $25,000 per year. Anywhere in the US is going to at least like quadruple his salary.
Yes. Get it. So, uh, can you share some tips on how to manage the time effectively when working remotely?
Yeah. Yeah, very good question.
Yeah.
So regarding remote time management, and I believe the best way is actually block your calendar. So from you dedicate how much time you want to work, and now you schedule 1 week ahead of time. I usually on Sunday or Friday, the end of the day, I plan what I need to do next week, and then you block your calendar in terms of okay, there's thinking time in the morning,
Hmm.
there's
Hmm.
different
Hmm.
meetings around it, there's a time I need to dedicate to do requirements in the
Hmm.
middle of the week. So people need to dedicate different times, block your calendar so
Hmm.
that you have the most important thing getting done in the morning or
Hmm.
important part of the day. And later on, you're
Hmm.
able to switch different kind of like topic and in the middle of the day. So they're still getting majority of work done. 80% of the work are done within 20% of your time. So that's a productivity hack for everybody to implement.
Yes. Get it. So, in the remote product manager interviews, so what are the different types of round that is not applicable in the on-site interview? For example, uh, there is all there is always a leadership principle rounds, matlab behavioral rounds in the what I say in the Amazon and farm companies. Okay, so what do you think in the remote jobs the rounds are there for the candidates like me and yeah.
Is if you interview with FAANG companies or any big tech company, they have a standard interview process, regardless you're
Yeah.
remote or non remote, it's the same.
Okay.
It is definitely the same. Now, if you interview with small, medium companies, they can design their own structure, a way of
Yeah.
thinking. And
Yeah.
for remote PM job, it's likely they're gonna ask you your past experience in your country, how much is different from the US way. I use US example. You can be Britain and other places. Um, how your past experience in India, the type of product you build in India, is relevant to the US style of working. And so they will ask you the differences between different culture, how they build product. You just need to know how to respond to those questions. They will also ask you questions regarding, hey, how would you manage remote working environment? How would you be productive? That's you can use my answer I just told you earlier. It's going to impress the interviewer. So that's the main two type of questions. But in general, for FAANG company, it's a standard interview rounds.
Okay, great. So, for example, in the career growth, it always matters. Ki how does remote work impact in the career growth of a product manager?
I think really depends on your long-term goal and also depends on the company growth.
Hmm.
From product manager perspective, it's more
Hmm.
important you think about how to leverage the remote environment to quickly jump to the next level of your career. For example, if
Hmm.
the whole company is embracing the remote experience, what you need to do is learn how would you be able to build trust and also build allies within your company, even if it's in the remote environment. In the remote environment, I don't think people have any advantage over each other because all the like in-person like small hot coffee chat is cut off. Now it's all based on performance and also based on how you build trust in those virtual meetings. And actually it's going to help you in the long run to grow your career because it's very performance driven type of culture. Now, if some companies they have a hybrid environment, so some company have some people remote, some people full-time on in office, that's very
Hmm.
different. And then you need to spend some time to be in the office to build relationship people inside the office as well, because
Hmm.
if you have some of them in person like experience, they probably have stronger bond and trust compared with you. So therefore it's
Yes.
important to leverage the in-person hybrid experience as well. So you need to manage your career very wisely. AJ, I have 5 minutes left. I need to jump.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think you
sure.
sent me too many questions, as I said. We don't need that many.
Okay,
Okay,
so my
so
last but not the least question. How you
hold on.
became.
Let's pick one. You mean the 18, number 18?
Yeah, it's fine. 18. Go ahead with 18.
Uh, effective networking strategy. And let's talk about
10th one.
18. Let's do 18.
Okay. So before 18, can you share some of the effective networking strategies for landing a remote PM job?
Yes. The most effective one is pitching yourself through the 30 seconds elevated pitch framework I teach people on my YouTube channel. All of you
Hmm.
guys should go and learn it. It's one of my most popular channels. So everyone needs to have very strong pitch. It's not a long story of yourself and actually say, if I only give you 30 seconds, how would you be able to impress the hiring managers? And for example, my a student in Thailand, he landed remote PM job in the US. He
Hmm.
used the 30 seconds elevator pitch strategy. By
Hmm.
the way, he
Hmm.
didn't
Hmm.
land a job in Google for sure. He landed a job in like a fast growing startup within the US. It's in the crypto space. Okay,
Yeah.
so he directly pitched himself using the 30 seconds elevator pitch to impress the hiring managers by reaching out people on LinkedIn. And so that's how he landed his remote job opportunity. That's how you use the networking opportunities to grow. And even if you have mutual connections, you should still ask people, hey, can you connect me with the team, the hiring manager? But why they would refer you was because your pitch is very strong. So everyone needs to learn how to
Yes.
pitch yourself. Feel free to go to my YouTube channel to learn more. So that's the best strategy to grow your career and land those interview opportunities.
Yeah. So how you become a director of product in less than 4 years?
Good question. And part of it's out of luck. The other part is out of strategic planning. Um,
Yeah.
as a director of product, and actually I became director in less than 4 years. And before that, I also got promoted like twice within my company. So the way I made it happen fast came from three aspects. Number one, I increased the scope of work when I was an individual contributor to make
Okay.
sure that my roles and responsibilities start to grow bigger. And number two, I made a very strategic decision that I need to start to invest in public speaking skills because even if you have amazing work result, you cannot talk about it. Nobody knows
Hmm.
about it. So I
Exactly.
actually earlier in my career, I spent over $8,000 in learning public speaking skills. That was like when was PhD students, I was getting paid $1,400. I saved money to learn public speaking skills that accelerated my career significantly. And finally, which is number three, which is I went out for interviews. So I land three director offers in the beginning of pandemic when all the companies started to freeze hiring. And I was very strategic regarding what's the best way can I put myself out there and use the interview skills to let people
Yeah.
highlight and understand my strengths. So that's
Yes.
in a high level regarding how I became a direct product was in like less than 4 years.
Great. Great. Thank you, Dr. Nancy Lee, for giving your time. And it's a very valuable session for the audience and as well as the listener. Listener will definitely get the profit after listening this session. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.